it's time to get real about body hair. For most women, we like to pretend it doesn't exist. We were just born with smooth, hairless armpits and legs. That's because for years and years, society has told us body hair isn't feminine. Joining me to dive deep into this topic is this beautiful panel of women. We have sexologist Shannon from here, body positivity influencer, writer, practicing women for men, and Martha who herself is a proud member of Team No Nicks and Cuts, which is awesome. So I'm going to actually start with you, Martha, because you stopped shaving your underarms and legs more than 2 years ago. Like, why did you come to that decision? How did you come to that decision?
Well, it kind of started as more of a personal experiment. I'd started shaving since I hit puberty, so I'd never really lived with body hair before. So I just wanted to see what it was like. And then once it grew out to a noticeable amount, people started commenting on it negatively, like just people in my life, and that was really bothersome. One, because I was like, why do you feel the need to comment on a personal choice I've made about my body?
Yeah.
And two, like, there's clearly a double standard for female body hair versus male body hair, even though it has the same function and is the same thing. And then now it's kind of just how I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
I've just reached a point where I'm comfortable with myself like this, and it's just one less thing to worry about.
Yeah.
And I think in a really small way it contributes to like the positive message that women's personal preference for how they want to appear is their choice and should be free from body standards.
That's really good. That's really good. Because then you're constantly getting the laser stares on your body parts, and like you're constantly probably having to explain. What do you say to people now? Do you just say go away? Or do you say whatever, like that's my body, my choice?
Well, thankfully not many strangers like comment on it. So I'm able to have like candid conversations with people I know.
Yeah.
I have had people like take pictures of my legs before, and like lots of like subway stares. So
yeah.
But at this point I'm not even uncomfortable by it, because I'm like, at least they're noticing. Yeah. Like at least that exposure is like being had. So like I think it's positive overall. You're
not alone, Martha. Analysts at Mintel found nearly 1 in 4 women under the age of 25 have stopped shaving their underarms. And it's not an entirely new phenomenon. We see it popping up in Hollywood all the time, as far back as Sophia Loren in 1955. Madonna in the 80s, Julia Roberts in 1999, and more recently, model Emily Ratajkowski appeared in Harper's Bazaar with her armpit hair on full display in an article exploring what it means to be hyperfeminine. And I think what's cool about photos like that is that you look at it and then you sort of do the double take. Because you see, it's a beautiful woman, and then you think, what's different here? And it's the armpit hair. And then you have to do that whole sort of analysis of what how do I feel about it, and why do I feel that way? So Shannon, you've actually intentionally stopped shaving before. Tell us about that experience.
I went to a nudist resort, very sexologist of me, I know. And
why not?
It was my intention. I was just going to go there to be like, let me just let my body do what it's going to do.
Yeah.
So for the month leading up to it, I just allowed my hair to grow, and while I was there, we wore no clothes. Yeah. And I allowed my hair to be my accessories, to be my earrings. And it was, I hate the fact that it was a moment of defiance for me. Yeah. I love Martha's story because it was just sort of serendipitous of like, yeah, who cares? And I have to admit that every time I looked in the mirror, I'm like, I'm doing something.
Yes.
And it felt like I was, sticking it to the man. And when I came back, I definitely did feel like, well, now that's over, so let's just get that out of here. Right. I wasn't able to really live in it. So I listened to your story, and I just thought, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's crazy because your eyebrows are incredible.
Yeah. They're very in style right now. So don't tweeze a thing.
We really pick and choose what hair we celebrate on women.
We do. We totally do. But here, I have a confession to make, because my producer said to me, Tracy, we want to do the story about body hair and femininity, and they said, grow your armpit hair, and I said, no. And it was funny because I thought about it, because I do a lot of stuff. I did the natural deodorant on the show, and I'm happy to show people in my bonnet at home with no makeup. Like, I don't mind any of that stuff. But when it came to show, like growing out my armpit hair and my legs, I'm thinking, I'm at the gym like 6 days a week, doing presses. Like, everyone's going to see it, and I actually had a problem with it. And so then I had to say to myself, okay, why do I have a problem with it? Kathleen, I think you found yourself in kind of the same
position. I'm the exact same way. Like, no one in public has seen my body hair. That's like my man and my dog has seen that, and that's it. And it makes me feel a little bit like a bad feminist. I do feel guilty that I don't want to grow out my body hair and that I don't have the confidence that Martha and Shan have. Like I just am not there yet.
I still, just to be clear, 7 days.
I still kind of succumb to the societal pressures of thin and hairless is beautiful.
Right.
I 100% am still in it, and I think that's something I have to unlearn. And yeah, I feel guilty about it.
Can I just mention, though, that whole bad feminist thing that we all get caught up in? The whole point of feminism is you can be any woman you want to be.
Yes. Exactly.
And so the thing is, I can also understand that I'm a byproduct of the system that I'm in, and some of those things I would like to fight, and some of those things I'm just okay with. Even understanding the psychology of why I'm not okay with body hair, I do understand that it's actually my right to choose.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you're not a bad feminist, you are, but I understand that feeling. When we move away from the idea of body hair and femininity, I like the fact that I'm hoping society is moving more towards realness in our bodies in all the different ways. And you are a huge proponent of that, Sarah, because you show your body in all of its beauty.
Yeah.
When did you start actually showing images of your stomach, your thighs, like cellulite, all of that stuff? How did that start for you?
Honestly, it was after a 100-pound weight loss, and I honestly thought that losing weight was going to answer all of my problems. I was going to be happy with my body. I was going to be confident with it.
Yeah.
I was going to be able to show up in new ways, and here I was 100 pounds later, still struggling with a lot of body issues, and it kind of took me out at the knees a little bit and made me kind of take a huge step back and really look at what my body meant to me and how I could start showing up in a new way. And it actually took being a model in an underwear ad and seeing people's reactions to that and seeing them say, I've never seen a body like mine represented before. That just pushed me to not want to, even though, yes, like we were saying, it's kind of a statement, it's a little bit of a bold move sometimes. Wearing a bikini and normalizing, cellulite and stretch marks is not necessarily a moment of empowerment for me, but it's a normalization for those around me as well. I want my kids to see it. I want us to understand that we don't have to hide these shame secrets that we carry with us every single day anymore. I wanted to be free from it, and I wanted others to experience the same.
This might be completely off topic, but how many of you live in a home where people walk around naked?
Oh.
Naked?
Well, I do. I don't
not
know
naked.
what the others.
Kathleen, naked?
Not really.
No.
No, like I gained weight recently.
Yeah.
I went up 2 sizes, and I still know that I have thin privilege and that I'm not what society I think would think was like a plus size person, but I'm having a hard time fitting into clothes. I don't feel comfortable in my body. And again, I feel guilty about that with this body positivity movement, and I'm all about everybody embracing their stretch marks and their everything, but I'm not embracing it right now. And so I don't walk around my house naked because I've been with my partner for 8 years, and I still hide my tummy from him sometimes. Like,
Well, let's
reality.
get real about that as well. I mean, there are moments when you're actually not in love with your body, and that's okay too. Like, you're just being a regular, normal human being. So I think part of the issue is us letting us off the hook when it comes to labels, because you can be a good feminist and have a problem with your thighs, but also recognizing some of the reasons why you might have a problem with your thighs. It's like, it's such a layered conversation. I just like the fact that we're talking about it and people are able to choose which direction they want to go in. So before we go, I want to mention the poll results, because we actually asked, would you judge another woman for growing out her body hair? And here's what you said. 35% of you said yes, and 65% of you said no. And it's an interesting question, because I don't think we judge others. I think it's more about making the decision for ourselves. That's sort of the tough thing for us to do. Guys, thank you so much.